Hello, I'm Dr. Travis Soames. I'm here coming with you with Travis for the People, and we are coming to talk to you about what has been happening in Lincolnville, recent occurrence, and we know on tomorrow, which would be August the 13th, we are going to have a water outage again. They're going to shut the water off because they got to put two water meters in, which is insane. To shut the whole town water off, to put two water meters in, which is totally insane. It is crazy because you remember the so-called mayor, and we can't call him a mayor at this time because he don't know what he's doing. The so-called mayor on November the 12th claimed that he had money from the state revolving fund to fix the problem January 2026. We now still sitting in August, and we still have not have any starting indication when are they going to fix the ongoing problem with the water in the town of Lincolnville. He needs to be held accountable, and we should be outraged. I have talked to some of the residents who own salons and etc. They got to change their appointments around because they're shutting off the water in the town. So he doesn't care about people's businesses. He doesn't care about people's livelihood. Only thing he care about himself. Why do we say that he care about himself? He just in the last town meeting, according to my sources, Travel for the People sources, according to my sources, that he went ahead to extend his $3,000 line of expense account to 5,000. But this is the same mayor who talks all the time. I don't need the money, but yet you trying to get money for whatever you need it for. Secondly, he then in October 2025, he's tried his best to get his salary increase three again, which he have already had the increases twice since he been in office. He only been in office for 5 years, and he already done to increase his salary two times. And he is the highest paid mayor for the size of the town of Lincolnville, 1,200 and below residents, which is a shame. He is a shame. He ought to be ashamed of himself, constantly lying to the residents of the town of Lincolnville, saying that he don't need no money. Now, my third issue, and we will coming back and talk more about this water debacle going on in the town of Lincolnville, which I am titling that Dickinson Gate, because it is Dickinson Gate, and we're going to find out that they have funds currently right now to go ahead and start the project, which he is delaying, Now, more important, we want to talk about Dr. Purnell Seal, who is one of the most prolific and efficient nonprofit um, presidents and CEOs in the United States of America. She knows how to get funding for nonprofits and towns and everything. She had done a marvelous job. And she's the one to the Lincolnville Town Preservation Heritage, Historical Heritage nonprofit organization. She had the one had got the $4.1 million for the renovation of our current town hall, who yet the mayor have not disclosed the A to Z plan on how they're going to do it. I went on the internet, they found put the plans and all that, but he is not telling us who had went out the bids. Was there any bids went out? We didn't know. There was no public announcement on who was going to bid for it, what company that the council and and him himself or town will choose to do the work. I think he went off on the ambulance on his own, like he always do, because he think he's an oligarch. He's not a servant. He want to be an oligarch. He think this is a small Lincolnville is a small town place called Russia Lincolnville. So nevertheless, but Dr. Purnell Seals, as you see here on my screen, They trying to approve a federal grant manager over the money. Now, from my understanding, Dr. Seal supposed to have already been the person to be the grant manager since she the one got the grant. And now from my sources is telling me that he is trying to move her out the way and get the call, which is the Council on Government Berkeley and Dorchester and Charleston County, the call. The call ain't the one got the grant. The call ain't the one that didn't write the grant. The call don't know, they didn't know who Clyburn is and know how to get in contact and build relationship. This mayor is having a very scrupulous agenda that has nothing to do with serving the residents of Lincolnville. And we need to come forth in a hurry and debunk this thing that he's trying to move Dr. Pernell Seal off, which he has no clue on what's going to happen in the ramification of that. As me being a nonprofit advisor, who knows when a person of this nature has worked so hard and get a grant for a town like this, of that large in capacity, and all the things that she had envisioned along with the town agreed that need to be done, now that may be stopped because they are not going to listen to nobody else because she already done established a working relationship with them, and he getting ready to destroy it because he wants credit. He like to be in the limelight. He like to be seen. He like to be heard, but he don't want to do the work. But just remember, I got some more information. I got the budget from this year, and there's money that already been allocated on certain things. But Dr. Seals need to be right where she at. Continue to help Lincolnville improve in spite of this mayor. We know this mayor have an issue. Then also my sources are saying not only that she want to move her, but she don't want to pay her based on the contract that they both agree upon. They're supposed to pay her upfront money, which is correct. Which is correct. You cannot pay a nonprofit grant writer like you pay a town employee because they're not employee of the town. You got to pay them based on the contract for the work that they say they will do and she have done. Why will you not pay her the money, but you want to outsource it to somebody else? To the call? Are you crazy? Are you actually thinking? No, he's supposed to be a businessman. No, he's a selfish man. He's not a businessman because if he know business, you got to honor the agreement that was already pre-established. So why are you not honoring that agreement? Why are you not following through with the agreement? Maybe because you having a vendetta. Maybe because you don't like Dr. Steele. Because I know who are nonprofits advisor, nonprofit manager, nonprofit extraordinaire as she is, there are certain guidelines and there are certain rules and regulations that we must abide by in anything with deliberating and going after funds and being over those funds. And anything outside those guidelines would deem jail time, would deem problems, would mean a lot of being like you defrauding the public because this is public funds. It's not just anybody funds, and he think this is fun. Just like he trying to do things like he's doing now, increasing his salary and getting using his expense account up and dating that and etc. For what? For what? We already got a problem with him now driving the town truck all around like it's his truck and parking it at his house and like nobody know what he's doing. We need to be up on that. We need to be taking pictures. We need to be filming that. We need to call an ethics committee because first of all, if you're going to use anything of the town vehicles, you're supposed to use it for the business of the town. Why do you got to park at your house and the other town vehicles are parked at the town? What make you so special? What make you so different? See, the first thing on leadership is not don't do what I say, but do what I do. And see, you're not leading. So if you want people to follow you, You need to set the example. And right now, sir, you setting a poor example. And you trying to blackmail, you trying to dodge, you trying to camouflage, and you trying to pull smoke screen on, and you trying to just push people aside who are there actually trying to help the town. And I hope that the council will have a backbone. And I understand that some of the people, and then they don't even know how to carry out the meeting. From the sources from the meeting, one has said, yeah, we need to call for a vote for a certain item. And they talk about, no, we're going to table it. You can't table nothing in the midst of a call for a vote. Call for the vote. And he should have called for the vote. Then you got people on the inside because, see, he got people on council, his buddy, his crucial. You're not supposed to be buddy with the mayor when it comes down to the affairs and the working dealings of the public. You're supposed to be there to serve the public. And we need to start calling these so-called clowns out, because that's what they are, a clown show. Because if you can't stand up for the people, then you need not to be holding council seat. You need to be voted off. And we need to now get thinking seriously, trying to move some of them off the way. And I'm sorry, and I must repent that I thought that Mr. Dickinson was an upfront businessman, and apparently he's not. And to the resident of Lincolnville, I had endorsed him. Yes, I had. Because I thought that he had the good will of the town of Lincolnville at heart. He do not have the town Lincolnville at heart. Anytime a man want to pass a salary 3 times, only been in office for 5 years, and he wanted his salary to increase from 27 to 54,000, and 54,000 in 5 years, an elected official in 5 years, and that tells me he's looking for himself. Now it's proof. If we have proof in the fact that he is looking for himself, because guess what? Guess what he did now? He tried to increase his $3,000 expense account, wherever that account is, for himself. Why? And we know he look out for himself. He parked that town truck at his house and ride around. Guess what? You know he using the town card. You know he using the town taxpayer money to fill up the car, to fill up the truck. So we know he's doing that. Come on, we ain't crazy. But yet, he thinks that he should be overlooked and he should not be touched by what he's doing. Yes, we need to call him out every step of the way, and every time we get an opportunity to call him out, we should call him out. And we are going to call him out. And we're going to talk some more about some of the nefarious things that he's doing. Now, all of a sudden, I went on the website. Now they got a Freedom of Information Act request form telling people. And then they made a bloomer on that, because they trying to say, oh, give them at least 20 days to get the work done. No, you have 10 days. Receipt of the request from a resident, you have 10 days to give all the information that is pertinent within the Freedom of Information Act that is supposed to be public knowledge. You have 10 days. Anything over 2 years is 20 days. So therefore, you're around. It's not under your discretion of the town on what you're going to give and what you ain't going to give. Long as the information that's in the Freedom of Information Act of South Carolina Code that meets all of that code that you're supposed to give. You can give expenditures. You can give out hotel receipts on travel expenses. You can give out the budget. You can give out the minutes in every meeting and every committee. And therefore, you're supposed to be able to give that. Matter of fact, that should be already displayed on the website, which is not. None of you got the budget. You got the budget on there now, finally, because people had the audacity to call them out because they couldn't find it. Now you got the Freedom of Information request. Why? Because people like myself, including, will constantly FOIA them so we can get the information that we need, so we can see exactly what you're doing, because you can't be trusted, because you ain't transparent. You ain't transparent. Because if you were transparent, you would display the financial budget online. If you were transparent, you would display the minutes that for each agenda, each meeting would take place in that meeting. If you were transparent, you would be honest with the people and tell them about this water problem. You would have already have gotten it done. We know that you can lie and you have lied. And I don't know why people are supporting somebody that lies. This must be Trumpism going on in Lincolnville. They got to be crazy to support someone that knowingly lies and does everything he needs to do to bypass processes that would benefit the town residents. It is a shame. And we need to keep Dr. Seal where she at because she does a good job. If it wasn't for her and her due diligence and her relationship, we would have never received that $4.1 million. And for him to try to move her from that, that's going to disgrace everything. He don't forget. He put me in his truck, in the town truck one day, carry me around and show me all the stuff that they're going to do and all the, will get the money from the national resource and the national resources, where they have fire resource or forestry, national forestry for the park and all that, redoing the cemetery back there, renovating the old jail, making those a visitor center, all those things that he want to claim. And little did I know, those were the ideas that Dr. Seal was pushing for. Why was she pushing forth that? Because it's a visitor center. You can have a restaurant there. You can have things there where people can come visit this town. And now we have a tax bracket. Now people are going to start coming to the town and utilize the town resources to better the town. But this fool wants the credit. And I call him a fool because it's idiotic. It's idiot proof for you not to allow this to be, and you already done see this work is already in process. It's already begun. So why are we doing dumb stuff? Why are we doing crazy stuff? Because now it's up there because he's mad with certain people that voted against him for his salary. Now the sources out there now, the sources is saying that he's trying to run 3 people against Tyrone, Leon Shannon, and Nesbitt in next election. Well, guess what? Throw my hat in. Throw mine in there, because I might run against you. I might run for the seat myself. So if you want to throw a hat in, then I know I have a chance of winning. Matter of fact, I know because I know I'm going to do it for the people. And if I still do not run for office, sir, I am still going to be up in every situation because we know that you are not doing the right thing. You showboating. You're clowning. And we're calling you out. And you need to leave Dr. Seal alone because Dr. Seal is the one that's making sure Lincolnville be heard in high places and resources coming to Lincolnville to better Lincolnville. Why would you have this lady be a part of the land use workshop, part of all this doing, and now you trying to submarine her for the call? And back to the call for you, sir, you need to be signing the contract with the call so we can start this ordinance. I don't want to hear this nonsense by 9 and 10 months down the road and talk about we already told you, we already pleaded with you. The planning commission that sent you a letter and say after the first reading and the second reading of the comprehensive plan, the ordinance, there should be a contract already signed so we begin to update the ordinance. And for my understanding, we only have an update of the comprehensive plan since 2015, but we have not had an update of the ordinance since 2001. 2001. Now let's backtrack. Now that was under Tyrone Aiken ministry. That was under Tyrone Aiken administration. That was under Mayor Dewberry administration. And it also is under your administration and while you was on council. So we have not had ordinance in our town, update ordinance in the town over 25 years. And you talk about you won't put a contract together so we can get a date? No, because you want these developers to come in Yeah, you want these developers to come in, just like your camp. The Dickinson camp said that you bought tens of millions of dollars into Lincolnville, and I don't see it I don't see it in the report. It is on your camp that's saying that you done this. It's on your camp that's saying that you done all of this money and got all this money for the town. So if you got all this money for the town, it should be reflected in the budget, and we shouldn't have a problem with our water system. We shouldn't have no low water. We got low water pressure now. It's a shame. It's a shame on you, sir. It's on your watch. Yes, it is also on Tyrone as well. It's also on Mayor Dewberry. Well, they have to own some of it, but right now you in the seat. So you're to blame because you're allowing it to happen. You're to blame because you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and you're not being transparent, you're not being accountable, you're not being responsible. How dare you try to scoop a little dinner for yourself? Yes, I'm going to rebuke you sharply. You are wrong. And for all those people that supported him, y'all need to see this man for himself. And y'all need to hold him accountable. And I do believe this process to give room for error and room for repentance and room for change. And he needs to change. But apparently he will not change unless we hold the pressure on him. But this is Travis for the people. I'm going to continue to voice my concern. And from my sources, again, you holding meetings behind doors talking about me and saying where did Travis getting his information from? I'm getting them offline. I'm researching, I'm studying the issue, which you should be doing, which you apparently cannot do. Apparently that you are scared. You just throwing stuff out and sticking it on to see if it stick on the wall. I the one go and study the issue and come before issue, which I'm going to study some more issues, and I'm going to dig right up your alley, and I'm going to call you out every step of the way because you are dead wrong, sir. You're messing with the wrong person because I'm not backing down because I know truth and facts is on my side, and I would not adhere to administration who's trying to act like a Trump administration, because this is exactly what this is. You're trying to do a hostile takeover, and it seems that you have a hidden agenda, but it will be exposed. It will be exposed. You need to leave Dr. Seal alone because she has done a wonderful job, and if you will only work with her, you probably will get most of the credit because you are the mayor, but you can't see that because you're tunnel vision. You can't see it because you're in yourself. You can't see it because you claim you don't need the money, but yet you're trying to get raises. You claim you don't need the money. You're trying to increase your credit card expense. You claim you don't need the money, but you're riding around in the town truck all over the place beyond town hours, but yet you don't need the money. It's foolishness. It's going to start. It needs to start. In the town of Lincolnville, we need to speak up. Stop sitting back and talking about you going to pray about it. Yeah, pray about it and ask the Lord to use you to do something about it. Because I'm going to be a voice for the voiceless. And it's time out for us laying back, allowing certain things to be happening, and we know it's wrong. We could be further along than we are if we just learn to work together and stop this tomfoolery and stop being scared. And I'm not being scared. I count it a privilege for the Dickinson camp to call me a small town manipulative teacher raised leader. It is a privilege to be called a false prophet because I know one for sure. The only one lying is sitting in the mayor's seat. The only one lying is sitting in the mayor's seat. It ain't Travis Holmes. So therefore, again, this is Travis for the people. Real results, real solution, and real change. And I will be back on tomorrow to talk about this debacle of this water outage continue to display in the town of Lincolnville. It is entitled Dickinson Gate because it's all happening under his administration. To then, to God bless you and keep you. Travis for the people. Be good, do good, and stay good.